Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Transformational Tuesdays. I am back ready to go to share with you the world of essential oils. Some of you may have been aware of me missing for the last couple of weeks. And as I had mentioned, I was knee deep into my Highly Sensitive Person Challenge. We have been going really strong for the last couple of weeks in understanding what it is to be an HSP, knowing what your environments are like and how you operate in them, as well as using clearing techniques and different rituals to allow people that are just feeling it all right now come on back to their own energy and their own groundedness. I wanted to come on in today and share with you some essential oil applications for when you're feeling overwhelmed. We've been going deep into this work, and I wanted to come in today to share with you a little bit more about this. Overwhelm. We've all felt it, we've all experienced it, more than likely at some point in our lives. When we can apply essential oils to specific areas of our body, then we can actually begin to feel better. I'm going to show you the therapeutic qualities of these oils today, as well as different application methods to help you when you're dealing with overwhelm. So I have a few different oils here that I want to share, and then I'm going to share with you the actual application techniques of them. One of the go-tos for many of my clients is lavender when they're dealing with overwhelm, especially when they are struggling in the evening because it calms and sedates the nervous system. Another oil that is used a lot for overwhelm that I love, which is a blend by doTerra, which is called Balance. This is a blend of earthy oils. It can be sedative, but I've also found it to be very helpful for clients throughout the day. Now, I'm not going to go into every single oil for overwhelm, just a few different ones. So we have our floral. This is the earthy one I really like to use. This has some great oils in it, as well as frankincense. You can also just use straight frankincense. One of my favorites for overwhelm is actually, there's these two, and sometimes I go to one or the other, but bergamot and orange are my two favorites for overwhelm. Orange I use a little bit more when I'm feeling sad about the overwhelm. Bergamot I use when I'm feeling frazzled about the overwhelm, if that makes sense. So these are my go-tos. There are many, many, many other oils for overwhelm, but I don't want to overwhelm you with too many overwhelm oils today. So I'm going to share with you these specific oils and actually my favorite places to apply them and where I myself apply them, as well as where I guide many of my clients, whether they're my massage clients, they're my virtual energy healing clients, or they're my women that are coming to many of my events and my retreats, is I show people particularly areas that are great to apply these oils. So lavender per se, because it's not in the evening, I'm not actually going to use this one right now, but lavender is really great right here, right where the brain stem is. I apply, I just take the oil off and then I apply a little bit right here, as well as I will put it right on the bottom of my feet. And the same thing, and rub it right on the bottom of my feet, as well as I will massage it into my ears and then actually go up and down. The scissor technique. You've probably noticed me doing this when I instruct yoga. I do this sometimes coming out of meditation. But massaging it into the ears, massaging it right into those temples is some great places for me. On top of right here. So a lot of my clients say they feel overwhelmed right here. This is your heart chakra, and also right below it is the solar plexus chakra, and right above it is the throat chakra. This energy can get really trapped, especially when we're feeling overwhelmed. So rubbing oils right here in the chest, to me, almost helps me feel like I am releasing all of that baggage that I'm holding on to in my heart. So again, lavender, those are places I would use at night. Now, Balance for me is an oil that I'll use more later in the afternoon because it's got earthy woody oils. So earthy woody oils, when I'm using for overwhelm, I tend to do them later in the day. I put them in different spots though, which is interesting. I generally will put oils on the bottom of my feet and right here into my brainstem because they're able to be absorbed the quickest, and you are able to start to feel the effects a little bit more. Now, for me, the other place that I would apply this oil, I always do my heart, is I actually will put a few drops on my shoulders and I rub my shoulders. I tend to feel overwhelm right here too, right into my shoulders. And if you notice, I'm just going like this, back and forth. You can squeeze your shoulders if you want a little. Going back and forth, squeezing your shoulders. Great way to release some of that overwhelm. Now, if you're feeling a lot here, then I would actually even rub my chest. Rub that oil all into my chest. You're going to receive the aroma, but as well, with any oil here, you can always end 3 deep breaths. Now, when it's overwhelm, when I'm inhaling an oil for overwhelm, I like to sigh out my mouth and actually sigh out my mouth with an audible. And let that energy be released. Now, when I'm feeling frazzled, overwhelmed, I tend to go to bergamot. Now, for me, the best place that I like to utilize bergamot is putting it on the bottom of my feet and then taking some nice deep breaths. I don't tend to need more when I'm frazzled. Bergamot and orange also are citruses. I don't want to apply them all over my body and then go out in the sun. Citruses make your body more sensitive to the rays of the sun, and sometimes you can actually get sunburnt from it. So I have to be mindful of that. Once I went like this with citrus, and then 4 or 5 hours later went out in the sun and I got sun blisters here. So I'm very mindful of my citrus now. Even though I love it, I tend to will apply it right to the bottom of my feet, and then I take some nice deep breaths with the bergamot. Again, you only need 1 drop if you're going to put it in your hands. If you're applying it, you can even just use your finger. And then I will actually tap. Now for me, sometimes, because I'm not going to be receiving sun right here on my sacrum, I'll actually apply the citrus oil right into my sacrum, and that helps me to just feel grounded. Now I use orange the same way. Orange I use for when I'm feeling a little overwhelmed and it has sadness attached to it. Orange to me is like my natural antidepressant. So I'll use this one at any point too. Now these oils are not really activating citrus oils, so you can use them in the afternoon, but I tend to go to these ones more morning, afternoon, and then I move into the balance, could be in the evening, and then lavender is like before bed. So these are my ways of utilizing essential oils to help you with specific types of overwhelm. Now, if you notice, I'm going to go into the categories of the essential oils for you, and then I'm going to share with you a wonderful AM and PM ritual that you can do with oils and these applications to not only help with overwhelm, but just get your energy balanced. When our energy is balanced, we're less likely to pick up on anybody else's stuff, and we're more easily able to release what doesn't serve us. So if you notice the florals, those tend to be the ones that I'm utilizing in the evening. So I use florals a lot in the evening. They just calm my mind. There's many other florals, and if you are interested in learning more about more florals as well as blends, just feel free to comment below, #florals, and then I'll be able to give you a little more information, or you can always just respond to me and say, Tracy, I'd like to learn more about florals with overwhelm and using in the evening. Now this blend balance has a lot of earthy oils in it, woods and earthy oils. I love to use these oils later in the day. It helps me really kind of decompress, would be the best way to say it. Balance for me, it's exactly what it says. It helps me rebalance from the day. And so that's why I tend to use more earthy, woody oils later in the day, but not to sleep. But sometimes I do blend the florals and the earthy, woody oils together. And those go really well, especially when I'm having a little bit of a crazy day. They go really well to help me with that. And then the bergamot and the orange, if you notice, were citrus oils. And citrus oils tend to help me to wake up and enliven my energy and enliven my system when I'm feeling a little bit chaotic or hectic, and I need just my emotional well-being to come in. Also, if I felt like I had a really weird night's sleep or some crazy dreams, the citrus oils tend to bring me on back in a really wonderful way that enlivens. I even feel better already by using that bergamot oil that I did a moment ago. So a great AM and PM ritual utilizing these oils is doing something right when you wake up in the morning and then doing something right before you go to bed. So when I wake up in the morning, I actually have at my bedside, I always start with drinking a glass of water, but then I have a blend. It's got the orange and the bergamot as well as a few things in it. I roll that because I made it into a roller. You can get rollers like this. But again, you can just use your hand. I roll it into both bottoms of my feet. I scissor my ears. And I take 3 deep breaths. Last one. And then what I do is I'll tap my chest, and then I actually will sprinkle my head. And there's a spot here, and in Chinese medicine, this is a spot that's like a gateway spot. This helps activate my energy. Sometimes in the morning, I'll even pull my hair a little. And then I feel like I'm able to get out of bed and have more energy and feel more grounded in that energy. Now, my PM ritual, there's a few similarities. I always will apply the oil to the bottom of my feet, but in the PM, I put it here, right where my brainstem is, and I don't tend to scissor as much as I just massage my ears. So your ears have a ton of meridian points in them, just like your whole body has in Chinese medicine. You can find them all in your ears. So as I massage my ears with that wonderful oil, I can blend it in. And then I usually will get my temples a little. And in the evening, I will generally rub the oil right here on my chest. And when I take 3 breaths in the evening, I actually take a breath in. And I exhale out my nose. Nice deep breath in. I tend to bring those breaths a little bit more in this nice flow. Whereas in the morning, they're more of the active breaths. So you just got a few different options here of oils to use for self-application, specific oils and different varieties of oils that are wonderful for overwhelm in particular, as well as my AM and PM rituals to just get my energy in alignment so I'm less susceptible to overwhelm throughout the day. I want to thank you for joining me for my Transformational Tuesday Essential Oils for Overwhelm. And as always, this is Tracy, and be well. Now, I did want to just give you a little sneak peek before I close into that highly sensitive person challenge that I mentioned. We finished the actual training videos, but we are extending the challenge until the beginning of October. Since all of us are highly sensitive people in the challenge, I'm looking and feeling into the energy of the group, and we're needing a little more time to process the new understandings that we figured out about our HSP qualities, processing the rituals and ceremonies we learned to clear energy that's not ours, to reground and to seal our own energy, as well as thriving more in the environments we're in. So if you're interested in still joining us, it's not too late. We're still in a private Facebook group, and you can receive the emails about the trainings, and we're going to have every Friday a quick check-in for what we are still exploring and where people still need support. It's a great opportunity for you to come in, and maybe you're somebody dealing with a lot of this energy right now, and it would be wonderful to have a safe community as well as tools, resources, and support that can help you thrive right now instead of feeling like you're just surviving. If you're interested in that, don't hesitate to private message me. I'm more than happy to give you more information. And then in the comments of this video, I'll share it as well. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. Seal in that energy. Be well.